on eCareer Fairs and on Corporate Gray Online. And I'm going to go over all of these things. And the preparation that you do on Corporate Gray Online is the same as preparing for an in-person job fair as well. First, let's go to eCareer Fairs and let me show you what you should be doing there to prepare. If you have the link that takes you directly to the lobby, you can click on that. But if you don't have that link, you can just go to ecareerfairs.com, and I'm going to go ahead and open my Chrome browser and take you straight to ecareerfairs.com. We recommend you use Chrome browser. It's compatible with other browsers, but Chrome is the recommended one for this event. And you just can go to ecareerfairs.com if you don't have the specific link to the lobby. And you'll click on Job Seekers. And then you'll go ahead and put in your eCareer Fairs accounts. You have two separate accounts for this event. You have your Corporate Gray Online account and your eCareer Fairs account. And you'll put in your eCareer Fairs account and your password. And if you are not yet registered for the event, you'll want to use the link that I put in the chat box, and that will get you registered on eCareer Fairs as well. So I'm going to go ahead and click Sign In as Job Seeker, and it takes me to the My Events page. This My Events page shows you all of the events that you've attended or are registered to attend in the future on the eCareer Fairs platform. So you can see I've registered to several future events, but the one we're going to focus on today is this Friday's event right here. But before we do that, I want to show you some things you should do on your eCareer Fairs account before we even go to this event lobby. So if you look up here in the upper right, you'll see a thumbnail of your photo, or this might just be a Head and Shoulders silhouette if you haven't uploaded your photo. Definitely recommend that you upload your photo to your eCareer Fairs account, because the conversations that you have with recruiters during this event are going to start as text chats. So you won't actually be seeing the recruiter on video unless the recruiter opts to change it to a video chat. So that's why you want your photo aligned with your eCareer Fairs account, so that when you're text chatting with the recruiters, they can see your photo, you can see their photo, and it just helps you make a more personal connection with them as you're text chatting. So to get your photo up there, you'll want to click on the icon and click Edit Account. And that's going to let you look over your account. And here under the tab My Picture, that's where you can then browse to your computer. Click here, it'll let you browse and find your photo image on your computer, select it, and then it will automatically resize it for you. And put it on your eCareer Fairs account. And now when a recruiter talks with me, they'll see my photo and my smiling face, and they'll be able to make a much more personal connection with me. Then you just click Save or Finished down here, and it will save it to your account. And you'll know it's on your account if then you see it up there in the as your icon. Also, while you're here under the Edit Account link, you can test your video. Definitely recommend you go here and test your video, and it'll let you know what devices are supported. Like I said, the conversations will start as text chats, but the recruiters have the ability to change it to a video chat if they desire. So you do want to test your video using the same device and browser that you plan to use during the event. And you can test your video today and just make sure that it's ready in case you are in a conversation with the recruiter and they change it to video. Now I'm going to go back to that My Events page, and the way you get back to that is this menu icon up here in the upper right. If I click on that and click on My Career Fairs, that will take me to that My Events page. And you want to find the February 18th event. And you might see these icons here below the event listed, or you might have to hover over this More icon, and then you'll see these icons. And it shows you different icons. You can share the event. You can view your history after the event. We'll talk about that a little bit. This is where you can go to the event lobby. And this is where you can edit your registration. So for example, if you want to change anything that you set up when you registered for the event, like your resume, maybe you've updated your resume since you registered for the event. Well, you can click here and change what resume is aligned with your registration. And that's the resume on eCareer Fairs that the recruiter is going to be able to view while they're talking with you in a conversation during the event. So that's this registration details here. But now let's go to the lobby, and I want to show you all the things you can do in the lobby now before the event. Definitely go log into your eCareer Fairs account, go to the lobby like I just did way ahead of the event. I recommend you do it today. If not today, tomorrow. Don't wait until Friday morning right before the event to go to the lobby for the first time, because you won't feel prepared for the event and you won't feel confident. There's a lot of things you can do in the lobby to start preparing. First of all, notice that there's 2 pages of booths. So make sure you don't just scroll down the first page, but once you've looked at the first page of booths, you want to make sure you click on page 2 as well, because we have more company booths there. And there's a lot of information that you can see from these booths. For instance, the Leidos booth, I can click to preview the booth. And if I do that, it shows me how the booth's going to look on Friday for the event. But look, I can see what recruiters are going to be attending the event. Now, it doesn't give me their contact information, and I can't enter their conversation queue right now because the event isn't live yet. So that link isn't actually live yet. But I can see what reps are going to be attending. Recommend you reach out to these. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh,
Yes.
great. Sorry about that. Looks like my headset gave out. All right. Well, shoot, how much did we miss? I'm actually looking at a booth right now, doing a booth preview. And what I showed you previously was the things that you can do on your account. Were you able to see that? Uploading your photo and hear all that? Oh, good. Okay, so we'll just continue on here. Thanks for letting me know. Glad I glanced over at the chat. Flying solo today. Oh, great. Lost me at the beginning of the booth discussion. Perfect. So the way I got to preview the booth was I scrolled down in the lobby. And one thing you might not have heard me say is that there's 2 pages of company booths. So make sure that you don't just scroll down the first page, you also go to page 2. We have a lot more booths over there as well. And a lot of research you can do ahead of the event from the booths. The first thing you want to do is go and preview the booth, and it will show you what recruiters are going to be participating in the booth. And I recommend you reach out to them on LinkedIn. Look for them on LinkedIn. You know their name, you know what company they're with, so it shouldn't be too hard to find them. And send them a message or invite them to join your network and let them know that you look forward to talking with them this Friday. Also, the recruiters can put a greeting underneath their name. None of these recruiters have added their greeting yet, but they probably will before the event. And so be sure to look and see if any recruiters have put a greeting, because sometimes they'll put some specific information in their greeting, like exactly what skills they're looking for or what location they're hiring in or information like that. You can also see a lot of other information from the booth. Almost every booth has a jobs icon. And if you click on the jobs icon, there will be a link to take you over to Corporate Gray to search all of that company's jobs. So if I click here, it's going to take me over to Corporate Gray Online, and it runs a search for me on all of Leidos jobs that are posted on Corporate Gray Online. So this can be really great information. We're going to talk about that a little bit more when we talk about what to do on Corporate Gray. But I just wanted you to know that that link is on almost every booth, has a jobs link that will take you to see that company's jobs and do a search. We really recommend, can't stress enough the importance of looking for the jobs ahead of time that are of interest to you at these companies. If it's appropriate, apply to those jobs before the event. And that way, when you come to the event on Friday, you're prepared to tell that recruiter exactly what job you're interested in at that company, why you're a good fit for that job, and maybe even let them know that you've already applied for that job. It's way more valuable than coming to the event without having done your homework and just talk with the recruiter and say, so what have you got? Here's what I do. What does your company need? You're going to go a lot further with the recruiter if you come prepared to tell them exactly what their company's needs are, especially a company like as large as Leidos or Lockheed Martin. Those recruiters don't know all of the 5,000 jobs that company has posted. But if you've done your homework ahead of time, you've searched the company jobs, you know exactly what you're a good fit for, then you can come and let that recruiter know, hey, this job, this requisition number is perfect for me. Here's how I can help your company in that position. And that recruiter is going to love you because you've done the work for them. You've already done the research, and they can get you right to the right person at their company that way. So definitely recommend you check out all these jobs icons and search the jobs on Corporate Gray Online. Sometimes too, under the jobs icon, it will not only have a link to view all of their jobs on Corporate Gray, but if the recruiter posted any hot jobs that they're really focused on filling at this event, those will be listed here too under this jobs icon. So that can be helpful to you as well. Also notice some booths will have a video link and some booths will have documents. So check for that as well. If there's documents, you can click on that and it'll be a link to let you download whatever the recruiters wanted to share with job seekers. So that can be some good information too for your job search. So a lot of information in the booths. And again, don't forget to click on page 2. And when you come to the event on Friday, the lobby is going to look very similar to this. So if you get familiar with the lobby now before the event, it will go a long way into helping you attend the event and feeling more comfortable on the platform. You can do just about everything except you can't actually enter the conversation queues before the event. That won't be an active link until the event starts. Here you can see, here's an example of a recruiter who added a a greeting. And so it just gives you that much more information. So look for those too when you're previewing the booths. So those are all the things you can do from the lobby now on eCareer Fairs. So now let's go over to, actually, I'm going to go back to my slides because I want to talk a little bit about what you can do on Corporate Gray Online as well. Actually, let me just go straight to Corporate Gray Online. Here, all you have to do is go to corporategray.com and log into your Corporate Gray account. So I'm going to click Login up in the upper right and put in your email address and your password. And this is your Corporate Gray Online account now. And I'm going to click Login. And it's going to land you on your dashboard page. And you'll want to, on your dashboard page, you can find the February 18th event. And click on View Job Fair, because there's a lot of information on the job fair page for this event. If I scroll down, you can see the list of attending employers. This is a similar information to what you have in the lobby in each booth, but with one addition. So first of all, you can see the company description. If you click on the company name, it'll show you the description. The pretty much what it takes you to is the company profile page. It'll show you the website as well. And then it'll also have a link to their jobs. That's that same link that's in their lobby. So if I click on this, it's going to run a job search for all of the jobs that that company has posted on Corporate Gray. Now, of course, for this company, it's so large, it has thousands of jobs. So you can use these search filters to hone in more and really find jobs of interest to you. So put in a keyword. You can also search by occupation. You can see that it went ahead and populated the company name for me. I can also search by state, the jobs, where the jobs are located. So you can hone your search a little bit more by entering some keywords and then click the search button again. And if you see a job you're interested in, you could save it for later on your dashboard, or click on the job or the view button and it will give you more information about the job. You can scroll down and see the description. You can also click apply for this job. And when you click that, it's going to take you over to that job on that company's job board. So you don't actually apply to the job through Corporate Gray Online, but this is a link that will take you over to, in this instance, Booz Allen's job board, to that job, and you can apply for it through their system then. You can also click contact employer. If the employer who posted the job has shared their email address, then this will open an email to contact that employer. Otherwise, it will let you message them through Corporate Gray Online. Let's go back to the job fair page because I want to show you one more bit of information to help you with your company research. We added these LinkedIn connections. And what this is, when you click on this, it does not take you to that company's LinkedIn page. It actually runs a people search to show you who's in your LinkedIn network that works at that company, because we feel that's way more valuable for you to connect with people who work at the company that you're interested in, even if they're not a recruiter. Just employees at the company. See who's in your LinkedIn network, or see who should be in your LinkedIn network that you could reach out to. For instance, let me go ahead and click on this for Booz Allen, and you'll see what it does is it opens up my LinkedIn account and it runs a people search to show me who's in my LinkedIn network that works at Booz Allen. And so this is great. I can click connect and invite them to join my network. And I would add a sentence to that. So if I click connect here, I'd add a note that said, hey, I'm transitioning from the military in a few months, really interested in working at Booz Allen, would like you to join my network. You're not reaching out to them, no pressure. You're not asking for to get hired. These people might not even be in a hiring capacity. They're probably not recruiters or hiring managers, but that's not why you're reaching out to them. You're reaching out to them for help with your job search, to learn more about the company, to inform you for when you do meet with the recruiter or the hiring manager at the company, you're better informed. And it has the added bonus of when you do reach out to these people for assistance and for learning more about their company, you get on their radar as well. So just in case they are in a hiring capacity, you'll get on their radar and maybe they'll see how you could be a match. So definitely recommend that you take advantage of your LinkedIn network to prepare for this event. And the way you get to these network links is when you log in, just a reminder, when you first log into your Corporate Grandline account, you're going to see the February 18th event that you've registered for. And you just click the View Job Fair. And that's where it takes you to that job fair page. So lots of good stuff you can do to prepare you. A little shameless promotion too. I should put this link in the chat box because we're going to have a LinkedIn webinar. I might have already put it in the chat box, but let me put it in there again. If you're interested in coming to our LinkedIn webinar next week, I've put the registration link. That's a free 45-minute webinar where we go over things like how to use LinkedIn for your job search. Hope you'll find that helpful. Okay, back to my slides. I just want to tell you a little bit more that will help you prepare ahead of time for the event. And one thing is you receive that employer directory. It's a PDF that lists all of the companies that are coming. It gives you their company description. If they gave us a hot job summary, it lists that in the directory as well. So that's just another tool that we send you to help you prepare for the event. So we hope you'll look that employer directory over. A good idea is to, as you're researching the companies, jot down some questions you might have for different specific recruiters. If you come across a question you have about a company, jot the question down so that when you're talking with the recruiter, you don't forget to ask them that question. It also shows the recruiter that you've done your research. Also prepare answers to some of these questions you're most likely going to be asked at the job fair. And if you type these up ahead of time, two things. First of all, it allows you to better articulate your answers if it's a video interview because you've prepared your answers ahead of time. But if it's a text chat, then it helps you to copy and paste your answer in, and your text chat can go a lot quicker that way if you've got some of these answers already ready to paste into the chat. The text chats with recruiters are going to be 10 minutes in length, but the recruiter can extend that if they want. But you can see that you want to type pretty quickly in order to get a lot said in those 10 minutes. In your training guide that we sent you is this checklist too, just to make sure that you feel prepared. You can kind of check things off as you go, all the things that you should do ahead of time on eCareer Fairs and the things that you should do ahead of time on Corporate Gray, plus preparing your answers and questions for the event. So I know that's a lot of information, but it's all in your guide as well. And you have my email address. Please reach out to me if you have any questions. So let's go back to, let's go on to during the event, how the event is going to work. If you've never been to an event on eCareer Fairs, this will be very helpful to you. So you're going to log in, like I showed you already, to your eCareer Fairs account. And from that My Career Fairs page, just like I showed you, let me pull that up one more time. On that My Career Fairs page, you're going to find this Friday's event, and you're going to click on the Enter lobby link. So it's just the same way you get to the lobby now is how you're going to get to the lobby when the event is live. And the event will be starting at 11 a.m. Eastern time, and it ends at 2 p.m. Eastern time. However, when it ends at 2, it does not just automatically cut you off. If you are already waiting in line to talk to some recruiters and they haven't gotten to you at 2 p.m. when the event is over, if the recruiter elects to continue interviewing people that are in their queue already, they can start an interview with you after 2 p.m. So hang out if you're still waiting in some queues. Hang out after 2 p.m. in case the recruiter does too. Okay, so let's see how it's going to work. You can see here's how the lobby looks during the event. It looks almost the same as before the event. These are just screenshots from a past event, but it gives you the idea of how it's going to look. And don't forget that there's more than one page of booths. Make sure you go to page 2. And the only difference in the lobby is instead of the preview link that I showed you, you're going to be able to see how many recruiters are in the booth and how many are set up to attend the booth. So, and you can click on this or click on the company name and it will take you over to the booth then. Also during the event, at the bottom of your screen, you're going to have this blue status bar that gives you some shortcuts. If you expand it, click on those down arrows in the corner of it and it will expand it. And it will show you what upcoming conversations, what queues you're waiting in. It will give you a shortcut to go back to the lobby. And it will also show you if you have any invitations from recruiters. This is important. So make sure on the morning of the event, when you first come to the event and you see this blue status bar at the bottom, click on that. If this number is higher than 0, click on it because that means you have an invitation. If the number is 0, don't be discouraged because a lot of recruiters don't take advantage of the invite functionality that eCareerFairs gives them. So if you don't have any invites from recruiters, don't let it discourage you. But if you do have them, you definitely want to click on that number because what it will do, it'll show you what invitations you have pending and it will let you click the thumbs up if you want to accept the invitation. Thumbs down will decline it. But when you click the thumbs up to accept the invitation, it will put you automatically in that recruiter's conversation queue. So you don't have to visit the booth and enter that conversation queue. It automatically puts you in their conversation queue and it gives you priority. So it actually marks you as someone that they invited so they can start the conversation with you first if they'd like. So you definitely want to check for invitations. And if you have any, accept them right when you get to the event on Friday. If you don't see the thumbs up or thumbs down, you might have to hover over that menu icon and then it'll expand them. So back to the lobby, you're going to click on the company name or you can click on the reps and that's what will take you to that company booth. And during the event, it looks almost the same as your booth preview looked, except this enter conversation queue is going to be live. And also it's going to show you how many people are waiting in this recruiter's conversation queue. And you can see each recruiter has their own conversation queue. It also shows you an approximate wait time for if you get in that queue. And the green dot means that that recruiter is currently online and active in the booth. When you click on enter conversation queue, it will go ahead and put you in the line to talk to that recruiter. And we ask that you only enter one conversation queue per booth. You can enter multiple booths and multiple queues that way, but in each booth, please just enter one conversation queue. You might look at their greetings to see if that tells you which of these recruiters is most relevant for you to talk to. sometimes the greeting can give you that information. If not, then I would just pick the recruiter who's currently online and has the shortest line. And when you click enter conversation queue, then it's going to put you in their queue. You also have this general questions. If you want to type a general question in here, you can. And if you want a bigger box, anytime you're typing in a chat, you can click on that bottom corner and drag it down, and it will make the box larger so that you can see more of what you're typing. But let's say I had a general question that I just want to ask any of these recruiters about the company. Then you can ask it here. But don't ask personal questions that should be saved for when you're in the one-on-one chat with the recruiter. Just keep anything you type here in the general questions box, that's visible to anybody coming to the booth. And all of these recruiters can see it as well. So you want to keep that general, don't type something personal. Then once you've entered one of the recruiters' conversation queues, now you're in their line waiting, but you can go back to the lobby, you can visit another booth, enter another conversation queue, and the system will keep track of the queues that you're waiting in. So this is the beauty of a virtual event over an in-person event. In an in-person event, you can only wait in one line at a time. But in the virtual event, get in a queue, then go back out to the lobby, enter another booth, and enter another conversation queue with a recruiter in another booth. And you can do that again and again and again for all of the booths for the companies that you're interested in talking to. And the system will keep track of your place in each of those lines. Then if a recruiter starts a conversation with you, all of the other lines that you're waiting in, you will be marked as currently unavailable. So another recruiter can't start a conversation with you until you're free again. But your place is being saved in those other conversation queues. So don't worry about losing your place in the other lines, but if you accept a conversation that's been started with you. Your place will be saved, and when the conversation that you're in is done, then if your turn is ready in any of the other queues, when that recruiter's ready, they'll start the conversation with you. Let me show you what those conversations look like. This is what you're going to see on the screen when a recruiter starts a conversation with you because you came up next in their queue. And you can click on Go to Conversation, and it's going to take you to this text conversation. And you'll be able to see yourself on the left, and this shows you what the recruiter sees about you. They can see your profile, your photo, and they can preview your resume down here. And then over to the right, you can see who you're talking to. It shows you the recruiter, and this is the place where you can type in what you want to say to them. And anything you type or they type back to you, you'll see in this box up here. So you just click send, and it'll show up in the box. And you can have a text chat that way. Again, be prepared. The recruiter might change it to a video chat as well while you're texting with them. And it will show you the time remaining. It should start for this event. It'll start at 10 minutes and count down from there. But if you're in a good conversation with the recruiter and they want to extend it, they can. Then either you or the recruiter can click the end now to end the conversation when you're done talking. But before you do that, I recommend you ask them for their email address. Some recruiters will give it to you, some won't, but it doesn't hurt to ask. So try to remember to ask that while you're text chatting with them. That way you have their email to really send a good follow-up to them after the event. And then when either you or the recruiter ends the conversation, now you're freed up. The system knows that you're free, and it's going to put you in the next place where you're coming up in the waiting line, and you'll be marked as available. And then you can either go back to the lobby or back to that booth. And there you are back in the lobby, and you just repeat and keep entering booths. You do not have to be in the booth when your turn comes up. So once you get in the conversation queue, you can leave that booth and your place will be saved. Also during the event, you'll have this link at the bottom of each booth that lets you leave your resume and a note for the recruiters to view later. So let's say you come to this booth and you see that it's a long line and the event's about to end. Well, then you can go ahead and click down here in the booth and leave your resume and a note. And those recruiters will have access to those notes and resumes after the event. It doesn't take the place of the one-on-one chat. We recommend you come to the event early and do the chat. But if you run out of time, this is a great way to leave your resume at the booth. Just a reminder about that event status bar that's going to be at the bottom of your screen during the event, because that's really helpful. Make sure you expand that so that you can see what queues you're waiting in. You can have a shortcut back to the lobby, and you can see your invitations. Also, it shows you how much time is remaining in the event. But again, when the event ends, you won't be able to enter any more conversation queues at that point. But if you're still waiting in a queue when the event ends at 2 p.m. Eastern, then hang around, because if the recruiter has time, they'll continue getting through the people in their queue and they'll continue having those conversations for at least an hour after the event. Also, the leave event link is in that status bar as well. You don't want to just close your browser when you're ready to leave the event. When you're really leaving the event, you click on the leave event link, and that will remove you from any queues that you're in. It will make it so you're no longer participating in the event, but if you are really leaving for real, you do want to be removed from those queues. You don't want the recruiter to see you in the queue, but then they can't start the conversation with you because you've left. So it will remove you from those conversation queues. Just closing the browser does not have you leave the event. So that's actually a good thing, because if you accidentally close your browser, you're still waiting in those queues that you entered and your place is saved. So just open up your browser. As long as it hasn't been longer than an hour, you can get back into the event and you'll still be, your place will be saved in those queues. During the event, there's going to be this event support link. So if you're having any technical difficulties using the eCareerFairs platform, you can click on that and it will open a chat box to let you talk with an eCareerFairs support staff person. Okay, after the event, let's talk about these a little bit. How do you find your conversations that you had? Well, after the event, you can click on that chat bubble that I showed you on the My Events page of eCareerFairs. If you click on that, and you might see it there below the event, or you might have to hunt for it over here under the More icon. But that's what's going to show you the conversations that you had during the event. So for instance, if I had a conversation with this recruiter, I could click on the chat bubble and it would show me the transcripts of what we talked about, which is great, because if they shared their email with you, that's going to be captured in these transcripts for you to view later. Definitely recommend that you follow up with the recruiters that you meet with at the event. First of all, if they mentioned any jobs that you didn't know about, thank them, apply to the job ahead of time, and then in your follow-up email, you can let them know, hey, thank you for letting me know about that job. I applied to it. Here's my resume. Here's an updated resume that's tailored to that position. So it gives you a great way to follow up with that recruiter, stay on their radar, and remind them that you talked with them at the event. Also, after the event, go back to LinkedIn, just like you did before the event. Reach out to people that work at the company. reach out to the recruiters that you talk to, and keep those conversations going so that you can learn more about the company. And don't just look for recruiters on LinkedIn. Look for employees that are in your network on LinkedIn, people that you're connected to that work at that company that can help you with your job search and help you get connected to the right person at their company. This was a lot of information, but again, it's all in your guide PDF that you should have received. I'm going to put my email address in the chat box one more time just to make sure everybody got it in case you have any questions or in case you didn't get the guide or the employer directory. Be happy to send that to you. And you're welcome to unmute if you have a question too.
Yes, Karen, this is Shireen.
Yeah.
Hi. First of all, I want to thank you for inviting me to this training event. And
My pleasure.
Thank you. I have one question. I'm not a military transitioning like personnel, but I am a spouse of a former military.
Mm-hmm.
So I was wondering
as well.
Okay, great. So I was wondering if, and also my job search is like it will be limited to a linguist or media analyst. And I was wondering if that will hurt my chances. I'm not a military transitioning, and most of those jobs are related to like military experiences. So I was wondering if that will hurt my chance of finding a job, or if he recommend anything that I need to do to.
So, yeah, what I would do is rather than clicking on a specific company's jobs, I would go up here into the menu bar, and actually someone typed that as well. They had a question about um, finding a job by location beyond state. You know, you want to hone in more on the actual city. So let me answer both of those. If you click on Find Jobs, it's not going to put in a company name, so it's just going to let you search. So in this case, let's put in linguist, make sure I spell that right. And then I could check this box here because this is going to search by companies attending the next job fair. Actually, I've got a test event set up, so that's not going to work right now, but as soon as we get off this, I'll remove that test event. But I'm going to go ahead and click search. And you can see that, of course, 87 jobs, that's quite a few, but it did let me search it by just that keyword. And also, like for a military spouse, well, let me see. If you
I'm
want
sorry. Yeah.
to search by city as well, let me answer that question as well. Let's say I want a specific city in Virginia. If I just search on Virginia, well, linguist is really narrows it down. But if I want to search on a city as well, I could put in an and here and put in the city name. And that's a way, if you want to use and or in your keyword search, it has to be all in caps. But you can search this way, and that way when I click the search, oh, it should have actually gotten Arlington from that. I'm not sure why it didn't pick up the Arlington one, but let's do this search again. You should be able to search by the city in the keyword search and then clicking the state. If you want to click more than one state, you have to hold the control key down. And otherwise it will click off the state. So if I want to search for multiple states here, I've got to hold the control key down. If I want all states, then I'd hold the control key down and keep everything deselected, and it'll search on all states. Let me click search again here. Your question about military spouse. So it is tricky. Most of the companies that are coming are looking for military experience candidates, but military spouses and civilians are welcome to attend our military friendly events. And a lot of times you have the skills that these companies are seeking, even though you didn't serve in the military. So I would not let that stop you from attending the event, but I would recommend that you do as much research ahead of time as possible so that you are able to let the recruiters know exactly how your skills are a match for their needs when you come to the event.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm actually not limited to just linguists, like media analysts, like open source, anything related to military, because I worked for the military for quite a while.
Yeah,
So
that's great. That's great. And make sure that that military experience, even though it wasn't active duty, make sure that shows up in your resume as well.
sure,
Very, very clearly that you have that experience, even though it's in a civilian sector.
sure. Thank you so much.
Sure, sure. And for instance, if you wanted to put in like linguist and media or linguist or media, you can use the Boolean and search on more than one. If you wanted like media analyst, or I'm not sure what keywords you'd want, but you can use a string too if you put it in quotes. So, so that can kind of help you hone in on more specific jobs, hopefully.
Thank you.
Attaching the, so I don't have the ability to, we didn't put the ability to put documents into the chat. So if you need the virtual guide, please send me an email. I put my email in the chat. Just send me an email and I'll be sure and send you that PDF later today.
Hey, Karen.
Any other questions? I'm going to go
Yeah,
ahead
can you hear
and
me,
stop
Karen?
the recording, but I'm going to stay on. I can, and let me go ahead and stop the recording.